This morning we chanted the reflection on the 32 parts of the body, and I think when I first came to the monastery, that was quite a foreign concept. That sort of seemed strange when I first read that. Even though it made sense on an intellectual level, I wasn't quite sure how to incorporate it as a meditation reflection. But it was pretty easy to see just after listening to some Dhamma talks about it or speaking to some teachers early on how helpful it is. Because it seems, at least from my own perspective, the sense of what the body is, the perception of the body, or probably more accurately, the creation, the fabrication of it in our own minds tends to be quite off balance. And of all the things that we hold precious and dear, I think it is our bodies that it is the most dear to us, we are mostly attached to. So this reflection is a realignment of a perception. Just not to get so entranced by our own bodies, by other people's bodies. When we think about athletics or sports and people who have very beautiful bodies, or the way that we currently think about them, well-developed muscles, these are like the human beings at their peak performance in terms of their physical body. And so we can see that and look from the outside and just ignore the excrement inside. Ignore all the liquidy, moving, bloody parts. They just really don't enter our minds if we don't bring them up. So that sense of the unattractiveness it's not like something out of disdain for us to develop disdain or just kind of a sense of aversive disgust with our own bodies. It's more of a kind of realignment with what is really there, so that we're looking beyond just the surface level of or what is considered beautiful, so we can get towards a more neutral relationship with the body. There isn't so much craving. We don't necessarily have to worry about wrinkles or if there's a particular scar, another sign of aging, gray hairs, whatever it might be. We just see it as a body, it's just nature, it's like everything else. And it arises and passes. And again, like we can, if there's a sense of thinking about it as unattractive, we can say, well, why, like, how is it not then disgusting? We say, well, it's just not something that, like, if each of us right in our hands was holding our stomachs, it's just, you really wouldn't want to hold on to it for too long. You'd want to kind of get it out of your hands. It'd be dripping all over, and it's just not something that is very pleasant. The touch wouldn't be pleasant, the smell, the fact that it was oozing all over, and that's what our bodies are. So there doesn't have to be a relationship of hate or aversion around that. It's just, it's just naturally, it's not clean. So as we walk around, it can appear with our bodies or other bodies that they do appear clean, kept together. We can note if one person takes care of their body more than others. We can see that. People sometimes look at teeth or facial hair, whatever it might be. But if we don't have what's called yoniso manasikara, if we're not looking rightly at those things, then we look for beauty in them. And it can be quite difficult at first to practice with this because our culture does not encourage it at all. Old people are shunned away, surely rarely in advertisements. Instead it's the young and the beautiful. And the ads they don't show those same people in the advertisements getting older. They just keep replacing them with newer people. As if there is no aging. There's no death. So the more that we kind of really bring in a different perception of our bodies, we start to create a different notion of what they are, create a different sankhara. Then we can balance out our experience of our own bodies so that there isn't this desire to kind of continually look young and new and fresh. Instead, we can look at our bodies as a sign for ourselves that the Dhamma is really true, that it's showing us that we are just experiencing this arising and falling apart. And the more that we attach to it and want to deny that, the more the truth of dukkha is seen. And of course we use the same process to understand this self-identifying that we continually engage in. We can think about the self in any of these parts. Where is it? So just bringing this practice to mind in a daily way it's quite helpful. Kind of just re-examining what's important anytime you think or look at your own body, or you think of another person's body. Just try to see the flip side. What is it that's impermanent about it? Where is the self? And how is there dukkha when we hold particular perceptions about it?